Any media person that I see in person for the rest of my life who try to tell me LeBron James is good as Michael Jordan, I'm just going to slap the hell out of him right on the spot. Right on the damn spot. No question asked.
What? Slap!
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Fanboys, LeBron James fanboys, LeBron James fanboys.
How did that love of the game fuel your career?
It was the basis of my career. My love of the game within my contract, which, I'm pretty sure most contracts now, I'm actually positive now, don't have that clause within the contract where
you had a clause in your contract.
Love of the game contract, right, that if I was driving with you down the street and I see a basketball game on the side of the road, I can go play in that basketball game. And if I get hurt, my contract is still guaranteed. I love the game so much that I would never let someone take the opportunity for me to play the game away from me.
My man.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
If you are an apologist for the modern NBA players, in other words, if you're one of these people who constantly make excuses for the ridiculous things that these modern NBA players do.
The thing I'm starting to find obnoxious about the Michael Jordan era and even the mid-2000s era is that you didn't play modern-day basketball. And that's not a knock on Michael, but the pace of that sport was far different than the pace of today's sport.
Then you are ridiculous. And if you are a fan of LeBron James, then you can go to hell. My people, we're going to get very real in this video here. So NBC just put out the latest clip from the GOAT Michael Jeffrey Jordan earlier this week. In this clip, he talks about his love of the game clause in his contract. And to me, this love of the game clause exposes everything that's wrong with the modern NBA. So let's get into this, my people. Actions speak louder than words. This is a saying that everyone is familiar with, that we all have been hearing for most of our lives. Actions speak louder than words, and most actions, my people, have a very simple explanation. In other words, fellas, if there's a girl that you've been trying to take out for a very long time, and every time you call her, she has an excuse of why she can't go out, well, the explanation is very simple. She probably doesn't want to go out with you. Ladies, the same applies to you. If there's a guy who you've been wanting to go out with, but every time you ask him about going out, he has a different excuse, well, he doesn't want to go out with you. And this applies to the modern NBA players as well, my people. If the modern NBA players and modern media are constantly telling you that these players love the game just as much as previous eras, however, all they do is seem to try to find ways to play less.
The NBA Competition Committee is exploring shortening the NBA season, starting maybe in 21-22.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Well, the explanation is very simple, my people. They actually don't love the game as much as they say they do. They say they love the game, but they low manage. They say they love the game, but they won't compete in the All-Star game. They say they love the game, but they don't take the regular season seriously. They say they love the game, but they don't take the fans seriously. They say they love the game, but they complain that the regular season is too long. They complain about back-to-backs. They complain about this game that they say they love so much. Thus, the conclusion is very simple, people. They actually don't love the game. Michael Jeffrey Jordan loved the game of basketball. And how do we know this? By his actions. How do we know Michael Jeffrey Jordan loved the game? Because despite coming in 1984 as a rookie with no pull in the NBA, at a time when player entitlement, player empowerment didn't exist, Michael Jordan's primary concern was to make sure that he had in his contract that he could play basketball whenever he wanted.
You had a clause in your contract.
Love of the game of contract, right, that if I was driving with you down the street and I see a basketball game on the side of the road, I can go play in that basketball game. And if I get hurt, my contract is still guaranteed.
In his words, he could be driving down the street and see a pickup game happening and decide to get out of his car and play basketball. This was what his priority was as a rookie coming into the league. This is how you know Michael Jeffrey Jordan loved the game of basketball. Despite getting ready to make more money than he ever has in his life, probably more money than his family has ever made in their lives, his number one concern was making sure that the entity of the NBA, the people who were giving him this opportunity, who was giving him this money, who was giving him an upgrade to his lifestyle, could not control the thing that he loved most, and that was playing basketball. That is love for the game of basketball. But now we have the modern day player entitlement. Oops, I'm sorry, I meant player empowerment. The LeBron James era of basketball, where they want to continuously tell us that these modern NBA players are just as competitive. They love the game just as much. As a matter of fact, they want to tell us that the game is better than it has ever been before, my people. They want to tell us not only that it's better than it's ever been before, they make that statement as if it is a fact. And the reason they say is because of evolution. They say, hey,
but the truth of the matter is that as basketball evolves, players are most definitely getting bigger, faster, and stronger.
It is inevitable that the game is better today than it used to be because evolution ensures that. But I have been saying on this channel for the longest that there is no one who can convince me that these players love the game the same way players used to love the game, simply because of their actions.
All-Stars. What do y'all want them to do? So when I see people talking about it, it's like play harder, and it's just like, why?
Like I said, they spend more time trying to figure out ways how not to play than how to play. So you mean to tell me in this modern day player entitlement, I'm sorry, I meant player empowerment era, where players can form super teams. That's right. Superstar players can decide to get together and instead of compete against one another, they can get together to try to bully the rest of the league so that they can stat pad and win meaningless championships. You mean to tell me in this era where players can force their way out of teams, that's right, players can force trades by coming in from the offseason overweight, by coming in to the season and clearly not giving their all because they're trying to make a statement to the team and say, hey, either you trade me or I'm going to be a problem for you. You mean to tell me in this modern era where coaches really have no power over the players at all, it is no such thing as the coach being a true leader of a team, because the all-star players have all the power now. You mean to tell me in this day and age where players can get their podcast partners a coaching job for one of the most storied franchises in the history of the NBA and can get their trash son a job impersonating the NBA player? You mean to tell me in this day and age of the modern NBA superstar having so much power that they can't use that power to actually play the game of basketball that they so called love, that they couldn't use that power to override team doctors and team management who say, oh, you need to rest. You just played 2 games in a row. We're going to rest you this game so that you'll be ready for this game. You mean to tell me that the players with all of this power can't use that power to actually do the thing that they so-called love, and that is play basketball? Man, please.
I don't believe you.
Please, save the LeBron James fanboys and modern NBA apologists. Save the excuses for the LeBron James fanboys who you can fool with that nonsense, because you can't fool me. And so there are going to be some people who say, well, look, man, 82 games a season is a whole lot of games to be playing, man. The human body isn't meant to be pushed in that way. The human body isn't meant to be stressed out in that way. And to that, I say this.
I've also said this, and I think there were analytics experts who definitely had science that said the human body's not built to play 82 games. I mean, I talked to people in the league that said that was a science, and, I believe it. But I always said this, Rob, and you know this. I said most high-performance, highly productive careers, or many of them, they push you beyond what the science probably would say is your limit.
There are a whole lot of jobs that the human body isn't necessarily meant to do. But this is why these jobs pay the kind of money that they pay. This is why construction and people who've worked on oil rigs and those kind of things, this is why they make the kind of money, because some jobs are dangerous, because some jobs requires the human body to push itself past what may be considered healthy for the human body to endure. But this is why the jobs pay that much. And guess what, my people? You know the job before you accept the job. When you grow up wanting to be in the NBA, you know that there are 82 games a season. You already know this coming into the league. So this is what you sign up for. So let me make this really plain and clear. Let me make this as clear as I can possibly make it. I don't care if it's stressful on a human body to play 82 games a season. This is what you are getting paid for. This is what millions of other people would love to put their bodies through that stress to make that kind of money.
We are in a bad place when the best thing you can do in sport is not play. The objective of these games is for people to play.
And again, going back to the love of the game, when you love something, you're willing to push yourself to get the most out of that thing. Like Isaiah Thomas in 1988, in the finals where he scored 25 points in a quarter on a bad ankle because he loved the game, because he had to compete, because this is what you do when you love something. Like Larry Bird, who played several seasons with a debilitating back injury that got so bad to the point to where when he wasn't playing, he had to be on the sideline lying down. But he played because he loved the game. Like Michael Jordan, who in the first segment of the Insights to Excellence talked about him receiving an ankle injury, and a veteran on the team was trying to tell him to come sit down, and Michael Jordan said, nah, I gotta get out there and play because I got something to prove. Like Michael Jordan during the flu game. Like Kobe Bryant, who played games with separated shoulders and broken fingers and hurt this and hurt that. Played games where he had to shoot the whole game left-handed, but they loved the game of basketball. They were real competitors, and their actions lined up with what they said. Their actions lined up with someone who loved the game of basketball. So again, I don't care what these players are talking about 82 games being hard on the body. I don't care what these players are talking about. Oh, well, it's a faster pace now, and so they run so many more steps because blah, 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 this and blah, blah, blah. We don't care. That's what the job is. And last but not least, my people, I'm going to say this. For all the modern NBA apologists who say, oh, well, it's not the player's fault, it's the doctor's fault, who say that this is the best way to do things. It's the management's fault who says this is the best way to do things. And 82 games is a lot of games to play. That's what greatness is. Greatness is pushing yourself past the circumstances that normal people would be able to endure. That's what greatness is. So again, we don't care. And I'm going to end with this. I'm going to say this. Who are these doctors to actually be able to quantify what is too much for the human body? And I say that because of this. Now, people are going to say, hey, Uncommon, you're not a doctor. Who are you to say? That's right. I'm not a doctor, but I'll say this. History has shown over and over again that people are capable of incredible things. People are capable of things that you wouldn't think people would be capable of being. The only way to find that out is to push yourself. And who knows what people are capable of, because everyone is so different and there are so many factors to consider when you are talking about what somebody is actually capable of. You have to factor in the human spirit. You have to factor in the adrenaline. You have to factor in someone's will about what it is they're trying to accomplish. So to just say, oh, 82 games is a lot of games. Well, they've been playing 82 games for many eras of basketball. And as a matter of fact, this current iteration of the soft-minded NBA player, you guys are playing the softest 82 games out of all the generations because they have extended the season to not have games so close together. They have eliminated a lot of back-to-back. So again, your 82 games isn't even the same as previous generations of 82 games. And you wonder why there is a lack of true greatness in the modern NBA. I'm not saying a lack of highlights, but again, I feel like this is what a lot of people, especially the young generation, doesn't understand. Highlights is not the same thing as greatness. Highlights are not the same thing as greatness. Matter of fact, I could ask the community who follows this channel, what are the highlights of your life? And despite the fact that everybody's in different points in their lives and different ages in their lives, we could all list highlights of our lives. But greatness is an impact that lasts. Greatness is an impact that lasts beyond just a moment in time, people. And the modern NBA is simply built on highlights. Hell, Adam Silver has pretty much said this himself. This is why he's okay with the fact that people aren't watching whole games anymore. Because he said, hey, well, the way people are consuming our content now is basically just through highlights and social media. So, you know, I'm going to forego the quality of the game and we'll just focus on making sure there's highlights. Highlights are just a moment in time, but we have not really had a lot of sustained greatness in the modern NBA, and there's a reason for that. Because the fundamental thing, the fundamental love for the game, my people, doesn't exist.
My love of the game within my contract, which, you know, I'm pretty sure most contracts now, I'm actually positive now, don't have that clause within the contract where
I don't care what you have to say or how you try to defend it, it doesn't exist. And again, if you are an apologist for the modern NBA, you are ridiculous. And if you are fans of LeBron James, you can go to hell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.